Well, folks, we're trusting that you're enjoying the music so far this week, and we just appreciate, like I said, everyone that we hear from. You know, we really appreciate knowing that there are young people out there that are watching our program. Makes us feel good to know that they enjoy the old songs and the old hymns of the church, and don't necessarily have to listen to the repetitious modern-day choruses. I want to tell you about a judge that was new in this town, and he was being interviewed, and he was asked this question: what is it like taking on the heavy responsibilities of a judge? And the judge said, well, I must confess that there are times that my head and my heart are in conflict with each other. And the interviewer said, I don't understand. Can you please explain what you mean? And so then he told the story of Katie. Katie was a young lady who had been stopped for driving on an expired driver's license. She also had expired license tabs on her car. And the penalty for that was to either pay a fine or be put in jail for a month. And the judge knew what her case was, of course, before she came in front of him. And he decided, well, I'll let her go ahead and tell her story, but she's either going to have to pay a fine or go to jail. And so Katie began to tell her story. And she said, Judge, I know I'm driving on an expired license and my license plates are expired also, but I can't afford to buy new ones. She said, my husband abandoned me and my two girls, and I have a job, but I get very little money. In fact, I don't even have enough money to pay my rent. She said, I was evicted from the apartment, and my girls and I have been living in my car now for several months. And the judge knew what he needed to do, and yet his heart went out to her. And the interviewer said, well, after you heard her story, what did you do? The judge said, this is what I did. He says, I took off my robe, I called a recess in the courtroom, and I took off my robe, and I took Katie, and we went to the clerk's office. I paid her fine for her. Then I took Katie, and we got her driver's license renewed. We also went and got her new license tabs for her car. And then I reached into my pocket once again, and I took out some money and gave it to her so she could get back on her feet and have a place for her and her girls to live. The judge looked at the interviewer and said, you know, when Katie left that courtroom, she was a free woman. Her debts had been paid, debts that she could not have possibly paid on her own, and she was able to start a new life once again. Folks, I want to tell you that that's exactly what Jesus has done for you and I. He paid a debt he did not owe, and we certainly owed a debt we could not pay because we have sin in our lives. But Jesus shed his blood on the cross and paid the penalty for our sin. And if we will just come to him and ask for forgiveness, he forgives us of our sin, and we can begin a new life all over again. I want to share a couple of scriptures with you in closing. From 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 23. Ye are bought with a price. Folks, that price was Jesus' blood shed on the cross. And then in the book of John chapter 8 and verse 36 we read, if the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. And is talking about the Son of God, the Lord Jesus Christ. So remember, he paid the debt he did not owe. Thank you.